My sister, who my parents adopted, liked my husband, Leo. She wanted a big wedding with him. My parents pushed me, saying, Leo married you already. Why can't Sarah have the party? They won't even make it legal. Before, in my other life, I saw them kiss deeply at their wedding while everyone clapped. That night, my husband held her down, tears in his eyes, saying, It doesn't matter who has the marriage paper. You are the only one I see as my wife. He showed her off at parties, telling everyone how much they loved each other. But I was the one married to him in secret. I died on the day they celebrated their wedding anniversary. He lit up the sky with fireworks for her, and I never saw him again. This time, I came back to life before we signed the marriage papers. I worked for 6 months to get a job at a great design company overseas. They told me I needed to start in Country Y in just 1 week. When I got the job offer, I shut down my own design place and had a final dinner with my team. One worker asked, Are you going back to be Leo's wife? He cares about you a lot. I only smiled a little and stayed quiet. When I arrived home, the big house's living room was full of activity. 4 people all looked at me at once. Leo came up first, quickly pulling me to the couch. Please give her a massage. I stood still, just looking at their waiting faces. It hurt a little. I said, feeling tired, I need to finish some work. My mother looked annoyed. What work? Your small studio isn't important. I said you should come home and look after Sarah. We have enough money to feed you. Leo seemed surprised. He smelled alcohol on me. He held me softly and asked gently, Did you have a drink? Do you want to lie down? This kind Leo reminded me of the Leo from the time of the fire. That day, in a mall bathroom, smoke and terrible heat banged on the door, trying to consume me. I was burned everywhere, I couldn't breathe, and cried, feeling hopeless. Just before I passed out, someone broke in. He put wet cloths on my face and carried me quickly to the emergency exit. Fire near the door burned his hair, but he ignored it, calling my name over and over, telling me to stay awake. I loved that Leo my whole life, and I hated him my whole life too. Later, I heard him tell someone else his greatest mistake was marrying me because his grandfather wanted it. It stopped Sarah from being his real wife. He felt he owed her. I made my hands into fists, took a big breath to stop my tears, and said calmly, We have housekeepers. If that's not enough, I can hire someone to give massages. My mother's face showed anger. She stared hard at me. What massage person? Sarah likes how you do it. Hurry up. His voice sounded final. Massage Sarah now, and I'll help you with your work later tonight. I gave a small, bitter laugh inside. I looked at them coolly and said nothing. Since Sarah moved into our house, she was treated like the only special girl. Our families knew each other, but my family only got wealthy recently. Sarah's parents died saving kids in a car crash. Those kids were Sarah and me. After that, my parents took Sarah in. And what they said, Sarah is very hurt and has no parents, so you have to let her have her way. To protect Sarah's feelings, they made me sleep in the small storage room because Sarah said the house could only have one princess. I wasn't allowed to do well in school because Sarah's grades were bad and she couldn't handle it. She had injuries to her head and stomach that caused problems. She often needed blood. And since my blood type matched, I had to give her blood. Nice clothes or jewels. If Sarah wanted them, they were taken to her room. My parents, and my husband Leo too, always chose her side without thinking. Even when she asked for a wedding with the man married to her sister, they didn't complain. They did everything to make her happy. Because I didn't say anything, Sarah started crying softly. She looked at Leo with watery red eyes. His arm, which had been around me, dropped fast. He glanced at me, then went to hold Sarah, listening to her complaints. It hurts too much. I don't think I can stand it anymore. I saw my parents in a dream last night. They said they worry about me. If nobody takes good care of me, they will come and get me. When they heard this, everyone looked shocked and stared at me as if I was the bad person making her suffer. She cried hard, holding onto Leo's neck, breathing fast. Leo, if you marry my sister, will you leave me? His eyes were soft. I will never leave you. Then I saw him clearly whisper to her, I love you. A sudden, strong pain hit my heart like being struck. They were already close this soon? And in my past life, I was so stupid. He fooled me, married me, and I waited for him forever. I pushed down the ache inside me and turned to go to the storage room near the stairs. A loud voice yelled from behind. Are you disobeying? Didn't you hear? Massage, Sarah. Don't try to leave this house again. He sounded commanding and cold. One time, Sarah said I pushed her down the stairs. When I said I didn't, he locked me in the dark basement for 3 days with no food. I closed my eyes. I remembered I was leaving in 7 days. I shouldn't cause problems. So, hiding my hurt feelings, I slowly went back to the couch. Sarah was lying in Leo's arms, looking at me like she had won. I acted like I didn't notice, kept my eyes down, and just wanted the next half hour to pass fast. Soon, the dinner table was ready. Mom smiled lovingly and asked Leo to bring Sarah to eat. He looked at me, almost begging with his eyes, and said, Stay a little longer, don't make Auntie mad. 2 other people looked at me disapprovingly, so I slowly went with them. The table had lots of seafood, cooked in many styles. Everyone looked only at Sarah, asking her what she wanted and if she needed anything more. No one recalled that I can't eat seafood. I picked up my glass of water and took a sip, showing no feeling. Meanwhile, Leo put on gloves and began peeling shrimp for Sarah. Feed me, okay? I want the hot sauce, Sarah said. Her headache seemed gone. She looked teasingly at Leo, acting cute. Leo smiled widely and put the lobster with the sauce near her mouth. After she ate, he even wiped her lips clean, touching her face gently. They both seemed to like showing their closeness in public. Leo sometimes looked at me feeling bad and said, Sarah likes things neat. I just cleaned her up. A mocking smile formed on my face, but I said nothing the whole time. At last, when they were done eating, I got up to go. Sarah stopped me, crying, and asked, Can you let me have the wedding? I know your marriage plan can't be stopped. I don't need to be his official wife. I just want a wedding with Leo before I die. I don't know how much longer I'll be healthy. As she talked, she cried more. The room felt quiet for a second. Or maybe I imagined it. Mom and Dad didn't look surprised or upset. Nobody scolded her. Their eyes just showed pity. Leo held her and looked at me feeling guilty, but said nothing. He just rubbed Sarah's back softly to comfort her. I gave a small, mocking smile. Okay, we haven't signed the papers yet anyway. Hearing that, Leo sat up straight. He looked like he couldn't believe it, staring at me, his face hard. Mom frowned, looking mad. This marriage was set up by Leo's grandfather. It can't be changed. How can you be so selfish? You don't care about the family at all. I smiled slightly at Leo. What's your opinion? He pushed Sarah aside and came to me, trying to take my hand. Anna, don't say that just because you're angry. I will marry you. Sarah only wants this because she's sick. It's just a wish. Nothing else will happen between us. I looked at him quietly. In my other life, soon after we signed the marriage papers, Sarah fainted again. She needed blood. I gave her a lot of blood over 2 days and fainted myself in the hospital. When I woke up, nobody was there with me. Upstairs in a special room, Sarah was receiving lots of healthy foods and drinks. I called Leo to ask where he was. He told me he was busy working, but when I slowly walked upstairs, feeling weak, I saw him feeding Sarah and cleaning her face. They were joking and touching each other openly. I don't know what Sarah said quietly, but he bent down and kissed her strongly. I stayed silent for a while. The man standing before me looked worried and pale. I said with a mocking tone, If you marry me, she can't have a wedding with you. He started to speak, but then he saw Sarah fall weakly onto a chair. He roughly let go of my hand and ran to catch her. Mom yelled nervously, Quick, call for help, call an ambulance. She pointed her finger close to my face and shouted angrily, You just hate seeing Sarah happy, don't you? Will you only be happy if you make her die? Agree to the wedding, or I won't think of you as my daughter anymore. Leo lifted Sarah and ran out. As he went past me, he didn't look me in the eyes. Anna, don't make trouble now. Believe me, you're the only one I care about. He paused for just a second, then rushed out the door. Seeing them leave, I let out a cold, bitter laugh. In my first life, my parents treated me very well until I was 10. After Sarah arrived, they suddenly ignored me. I was confused and kept thinking about what I did wrong. Or maybe I wasn't good enough, causing mom and dad to stop loving me. I wanted their love back so much that I always gave in, no matter how unfair their requests were. Dying once taught me it doesn't matter if they love me. I have to love myself. Showing no emotion, I went to the storage room to pack. I didn't have many things. One suitcase was enough. I collected the other items to give away to charity. This made the small room feel a bit bigger. After a short thought, I made a phone call. Someone answered right away. I asked quietly, "Is everything ready?" I smiled a little. "Send it to this address in 1 week." I calmly gave the address of the big house and told the person to give it directly to my dad. In my past life, Sarah said the car crash happened because I was playing around in the car. I tried to explain, but nobody believed me. This time, the camera recording from the car will show what really happened. 3 days later, they came back from the hospital with Sarah. I was just about to go when we met. Sarah wore a white dress and happily held Leo's arm. She said playfully, "I want the wedding to be in a very fancy hotel." Leo, who was looking at her lovingly, turned white when he saw me. He usually didn't pay attention to how I looked. Maybe I seemed too calm. He suddenly let go of Sarah and walked fast towards me, looking nervous. "Don't get the wrong idea," he said. "Sarah and I are only having a wedding party, that's all. I've already set the date for us to sign the marriage papers. We'll do it before the wedding." I smiled slightly. "Well, if Sarah wants to be your wife, she can." In my first life, they hid the wedding from me. I found out very late. Someone sent me a link to watch it live online. When I opened it, they were saying their promises and kissing. They kissed deeply with everyone watching. After that day, I was Leo's secret wife. I had to watch my husband with the woman he had the wedding with every single day. He showed off his love for her. His eyes were always loving when he looked at her. He only paid attention to me when we visited Grandpa, and even then, he was cold. In my past life, I couldn't forget that Leo saved my life. I refused to believe he could love another person. I stopped working, became unhappy, cried, and argued, but I couldn't leave him. In the end, I was his hidden wife, and he didn't visit me before I passed away. On their anniversary, he arranged fireworks all over the city for her. While those fireworks lit up the sky, I died unwillingly. Now, Leo is holding me tight, not letting me go. I see fear in his eyes. I give a cold laugh and look straight at him. "You want both things, but you can't have them. If you force me to sign the marriage papers, I will tell everyone online and show that Sarah broke up our marriage." Just after I spoke, someone came quickly from behind him. They pushed Leo away and hit my face hard. "Sarah's parents saved your life. Is this how you thank them? You have no gratitude. You shouldn't be part of this family." I laughed bitterly. "I know. You always only had one daughter." He paused briefly. Then Sarah cried out in pain, "Dad, Leo, my head aches." Dad comforted her and led her inside. Showing no feeling, I turned and left for the government office to finish my travel papers. Coming back, I received a call from the design company in Country Y. The person calling was also Chinese and spoke politely. He explained some things about starting the job and then asked with a small laugh, "Are you coming for a short time or moving here for good?" "For good," I answered clearly. He sounded happy. "Great. Hope we meet soon." I ended the call and went back to the big house feeling better. But Leo was there by the door, looking cold and watching me. "Travel papers? Who is moving?" "Me," I said simply. He let out a breath, relieved. His face relaxed, and he put his arm around me. After a second, he said, "Dad wants to talk to you. There's something important." My heart jumped. It had to be about Sarah, and it was. As soon as I entered, before I even sat down, Dad said coldly, Sarah and Leo are having a wedding. She will officially be part of a rich family, but her situation is strange. She needs a proper role. You own a design company, right? Give it to her. Sarah's parents died quickly without leaving instructions for their money. Her uncle and aunt took most of it, leaving her with just a company name. Because they felt sorry for her, or for some other reason, they always made me give things up for Sarah. In my first life, I let them have the wedding and the company. Because Sarah was hurt and couldn't have children, I wasn't even allowed to have children. Leo just said Sarah couldn't handle the worry, and he never got close to me before I died. I smiled softly, feeling completely calm now. Seeing I wasn't speaking, Dad spoke more firmly. Sarah's parents saved you. Think of this as paying them back. We won't ask for anything else from you after this. He had run businesses for many years, unlike Mom, who didn't understand much. He knew my company was worth a lot. Since finishing school, I had won big design prizes, making my company well known, but he didn't know I had already closed it down. With a perfect smile, I replied, Okay, I'll sort out giving it to her in a few days. Relieved, Dad nodded. I knew you were a sensible girl. If you had acted like this before, I wouldn't have hit you. Even Mom looked at me without her usual anger. Now we are a happy family, Dad added. I laughed silently inside and ignored their fake niceness. Sarah looked at me, seeming a bit proud. I smiled back and watched her face slowly change. Strangely, Leo followed me to the storage room. Standing in the small space, he looked confused, then asked with worry, Anna, where are your things? I wanted new things, so I got rid of the old ones, I answered calmly. Looking a little hurt, he hugged me and whispered softly, I'll buy you anything you want. He gently touched the mark on my face from being hit, kissed it softly and mumbled, Sarah is not well. This is the last time, I promise. I'll make it better for you. Inside, I felt completely empty. I knew his family worked in important government jobs and couldn't leave the country. So, Leo, we have no future together. We won't even see each other again. For the next 3 days, people were busy rushing around. Sarah posted online, practicing for the best wedding ever. Then more messages arrived right after. Who cares if you're the real daughter? Everything you have will be mine. A marriage paper means nothing. I will have all of Leo. And you'll always be like a dirty mouse with no happiness. I quietly saved a picture of the messages and sent them off. Print this and send it with the other items. The day I left had beautiful weather. On the way to the airport, Leo surprised me with a video call. He looked serious for a couple of minutes, then asked where I was headed. I smiled. Somewhere nice. Fear flashed in his eyes. He quickly said, Anna, don't just wander off. I'll come get you this afternoon and we will go sign the marriage papers. I looked at him calmly and didn't reply. I could hear Sarah's voice nearby. Today is the last practice day, Leo. Soon, I'll be your wife. He frowned a little but didn't answer. Then my mom showed up on the video, telling me again to give the company to Sarah. I nodded but said something different. Good luck. Leo looked worried and asked, Anna, who are you wishing good luck to? Then, even Dad came close with a rare smile. You've finally matured. Don't worry, the family will take care of you. I smiled without feeling anything. For a moment, it felt unusually calm. But Leo looked at my face, worried. He felt something was wrong with me lately, but didn't know what. A strange fear grew inside him. Someone told him to hurry again. Before ending the call, I calmly said, Dad, Mom. They clearly wanted to end the call fast, telling Leo to hang up. I smiled and said, Goodbye. Then I ended the call myself. Dad, Mom, Leo, goodbye for good. Before going into the airport, I turned around with my small bag. I looked one last time at the city where I had lived twice. Then, determined, I walked inside. In Country Y, the man who helped me before met me at the airport. He was easy to spot in the crowd, holding flowers. People noticed him, Some girls nearby even took photos. I saw my name on a sign he held, walked up to him, and called out, "Mark?" His eyes brightened. He gave me the flowers and smiled. "Anna, you look even prettier than your pictures." When I took the flowers, he took my small bag and kindly asked if I wanted to go to the apartment first. I agreed. The company had arranged the apartment for me, and it was already mine. Before we went in, Mark gave me a big envelope, likely with the ownership papers. When I opened the apartment door, I was stunned by the amazing sea view from the large windows and let out a happy gasp. The apartment wasn't as huge as the house back home, but it looked out at the ocean, had great light, and felt like a truly free place just for me. That evening, I bought curtains, rugs, and wall decorations that I liked. I also found some fun, unusual art pieces at an outdoor market to put up myself. Lying on the sofa later, the empty feeling I'd had since coming back to life finally went away. Listening to the ocean waves, tears came to my eyes. A life that was really mine was finally, truly in my control after living twice. The next morning, I opened my door to go to work and saw Mark's car parked outside. He waved when he saw me. I didn't want to bother him, so I smiled and said, "The company gave me a car. I can drive myself to work now." Sitting in his car, he gave me breakfast in a bag and smiled a little. "It's okay. I'm going this direction anyway." The car headed to EC Studio. I had wanted to work there for so long. In my first life, EC had offered me a job too. But after getting married to Leo, I left the design world. I gave my company to Sarah and spent all my time being a rich man's wife, waiting for a husband who was never there. Feeling a small ache in my heart, Mark's cheerful voice brought me back. "We've arrived." I looked out and saw a building shaped like a curved wave. It was in the busy city, but still felt peaceful and natural. I felt a rush of feelings, so excited that my hand shook when I opened the car door. Mark looked at me thoughtfully, stood next to me, and said softly, "EC is proud to have you here." Always smooth, he held out his arm with a smile. "May I be lucky enough to show Anna around?" Not acting shy, I gently took his arm and said, "Please lead the way." The EC building was tall with 22 floors. Seeing everything would take all day. Mark took me to the 21st floor, explaining this was where I would work. He showed me the awards and famous designs the company had created over time. The main boss's helper personally helped me get started, treating me with great respect. She seemed surprised for a second to see Mark there, but quickly acted normal again. My office was large and nice, decorated in a style I liked. Mark introduced me to the other designers. I paused for a moment with the young woman named Kloe, who smiled warmly at me. I remembered she was wrongly blamed for something in my past life. I frowned slightly, then nodded at her. After getting settled, I sat in my office alone, looking through different work projects. During my break, an alarm on my phone went off. I smiled and used my tablet to turn on several hidden camera views. Leo and Sarah were on the main screen. Leo seemed worried because he couldn't reach Anna. Sarah held his arm tightly and said sweetly, "Leo, don't stress. My sister isn't answering because she's busy. Soon, I'll be your wife. I'm feeling nervous. Can you stay with me?" But he couldn't forget Anna's faraway look during their video call yesterday. Her smile seemed like she was finally free, and it made him feel strangely worried. He gently moved Sarah away, looking a bit guilty. "I have to go get her from her company. She didn't return home last night, and I need to take her to sign the marriage papers today." Sarah held his hand, looking unhappy. "Leo, you promised to marry her. She will come back later for sure. Can't you stay with me a bit longer before you marry her?" He hesitated, but then agreed when he saw her crying. He lifted his hand to dry her tears and said, "Okay." Inside the house, Anna's mom came out smiling at Sarah. "Sarah, the wedding dress is here. Come and try it on." Sarah quickly kissed Leo's cheek, turned red, and ran inside. Seeing Leo looking unhappy, Anna's mom looked serious. Even if Sarah isn't legally married to you, everyone knows she's like your wife. Treat her well. As for Anna, what else does she need after marrying you? Don't give her too much freedom." After a moment, she asked, She still hasn't answered her phone? She got angrier, picked up her phone, and complained, "My call didn't go through either. Anna never ignored my calls before." Annoyed, she looked hard at her phone and told Leo, "Call her helper and tell her to come home right now." Leo searched for a moment to find Anna's helper's number. He didn't have it saved, but once, when he blocked Anna for not liking Sarah, Anna had called him using her helper's phone. The helper answered quickly, but what they said shocked him. "What? Anna didn't tell you? She shut down the company a week ago." Leo's face went white. He held the phone so tight his fingers turned white. The helper didn't notice Leo's shock and laughed. "You and Anna are so close. You always pick her up. Maybe she's planning a surprise. We joked she was going to be a stay-at-home wife, and she just smiled. Anyway, congratulations on your marriage to Anna." Leo's face finally relaxed a bit. He said thank you and hung up. Anna's mom looked confused. After thinking how to say it, Leo told her, "Anna closed her company." This caused a big reaction. Anna's mom was furious, her face pale with anger. Dad, looking troubled, tried to calm Anna's mom. "Auntie, Anna shut the company down some time ago. Maybe she wants to focus on being a wife." Anna's mom got even madder. She can't just close it. She never wants Sarah to have anything nice. Just then, someone else entered. Anna's dad rushed in holding a box. Anna's mom started complaining about Anna, but then she noticed the box. "What is that?" Dad said, "A man outside gave it to me. Said I had to open it." He put the box on a table outside, opened it, and found an old car camera inside. Confused, he took it out and pressed play. From the recording, a young Anna's strong voice said, "Don't you talk bad about my parents. They smell bad. Just seeing them makes me sick. Your parents are awful. I would never go to your house." An angry voice defended her parents. "They work hard and are nice. They built a school. They are heroes. You're just stuck up." Then Sarah's parents' voices could be heard trying to stop the fight. "You can't speak to Mr. and Mrs. like that, and hitting is wrong." "Say sorry to Anna," Sarah yelled back. "You're my parents. Why are you taking her side? She's just like her parents. I won't let her ride in our car." Her mom said softly, "Sarah, of course, Mommy loves you best and will always support you. But you're hurting Anna like this. Soon, I'll bring you home from your grandma's place and raise you myself. You didn't learn good manners there." This seemed to make Sarah angry. Then her mom screamed, "Let go of my hand, I'm driving, let go, there's a car." The recording made scratchy noises and stopped. The yard outside the house became completely quiet. The three people stood still, looking pale and shocked. Anna's mom covered her mouth and cried out, "You monster!" Dad's face twisted with anger. He pulled Sarah outside and threw her down. He played the recording again, staring hard at her. Sarah was scared. She crawled to Leo, grabbed his pants, and cried, "Leo, it's not real. Someone framed me. It must be my sister. She's afraid I'll take you. You have to trust me. I didn't do it." Leo pushed her away coldly. He held a paper printout of the mean messages she sent Anna. He looked at her disappointed and said, "Haven't we treated you well? Why would you do this to Anna?" Anna's mom ran over, pulled Sarah's hair, and shouted, "Since you came here, did we ever treat you badly? We were kind to you. We even gave you the special treats Anna loved. And this is how you pay us back? I was so foolish. I hurt my own daughter for someone ungrateful like you. My Anna, I am so sorry." Crying, she begged Leo, "Leo, find Anna. Bring my daughter home." Sarah kept crying, trying to hold Anna's mom. "Mom, I always thought of you as my mother. Are you leaving me now?" Anna's mom pulled her hair harder, pushing her head down, yelling, "I cared for you. I gave you things that belonged to Anna. How can you say I'm not your mom? If I knew this would happen, I wouldn't have let you stay, even if you were left out in the cold." Anna's dad, furious, came and hit Sarah. "How dare you talk to me like that? I'll punish you." Sarah cried out, "Who said you could hit me? You're the ones who spoiled me. I never asked for anything. It's not my fault Anna was ignored. I've never seen parents so stupid. You want her to thank you? Don't you need my help later on?" Her talking back only made them hit her more. Anna's father pulled her down to the basement. Anna's mother stood there, shocked, calling Anna's name. She begged Leo to find Anna. Later, after making some calls, Leo told Anna's mom, who was heartbroken. Anna has given up her Chinese citizenship. After seeing all this mess, I turned off the camera view. Before I left, I had put in some hidden cameras just to watch how they reacted to the truth. Feeling calm, I knew these people couldn't hurt me anymore. I secretly posted recordings online, showing them forcing me about the wedding. Someone knocked, and Kloe came in. She had her design for this year's jewelry contest. It was a pin called Mermaid's Tears, a design that in the past caused problems about copying. Soon, this design would be called a copy of one from AF Studio. Because of this, EC Studio lost its good name. Many years later, early drawings showed that Mermaid's Tears was actually made a month earlier. People were surprised, but Kloe, who was wrongly blamed, had become very sad and had passed away. EC Studio, once very successful, became almost nothing. I looked at Kloe, who was still young and full of life. I asked carefully, "Who else saw the drawings besides me?" Kloe thought for a second. "My helper, Sam." I asked Kloe to sit down. "Do you fully trust Sam?" She looked confused. "Sam isn't just my helper, he's my boyfriend." Seeing a potential problem, I said, "This design could be better. I need you to stay here at work and change it with me. Can you do that?" She agreed, about to send a message, but I gently stopped her. "Let's not tell anyone." She seemed to understand something was up and agreed with a playful smile. "Okay, I'll tell him I went on a trip." We worked hard on the drawings, changing them so much they looked completely different. Praising me, she laughed. "People say the new design boss has won many awards." I wasn't sure, but now I see how smart you are. The contest results came out. A design named Angel's Tears, very similar to ours, caused a lot of talk. Kloe was shocked and cried, knowing she almost got into big trouble if she hadn't changed her design. When coworkers asked questions, her helper Sam got nervous and tried to sneak away. Security stopped him, and the real story came out quickly. Because we worked together, Kloe won the top prize. Her name was cleared, and she sued Sam and Jane from AF Studio over the Angel's Tears design. Sam and Jane were dating and wanted to use Kloe's talent to become successful in their first life. Their greed ruined a talented designer and a great company. This time, they faced consequences much sooner. Kloe is extremely thankful to me, calling me her hero every time she sees me. Even Mark thought it was funny. Mark said I had rescued EC. At an important meeting, he made me a vice president. That's when I learned he was the actual owner of EC. With the company doing well, the next day, he sent a huge truck full of roses to the front of our building. Rose petals floated in the wind, making the streets smell sweet. Surrounded by flowers, he took out a ring and told me he had feelings for me. I didn't feel that strongly about him, so I kindly said no with a smile, even though people nearby were clapping. He didn't look upset and laughed. "I thought so. That was just the beginning. I wanted to tell you I plan to win you over." Mark tried many ways to impress me. Visits to fields of flowers, castles, seeing the northern lights, all very romantic. Simpler dates included dinners and movies. Once, during dinner, I heard two Chinese girls talking nearby about a rich family from back home. "Did you hear about that fancy family in a city?" "Everyone knows. That adopted girl tried to take the real daughter's husband." The recording caused a huge stir. A group of people pressured the real daughter to let the adopted sister have the wedding. Rich people do such shady things. I heard the adopted girl got sent to their old family village, and her grandmother married her off to an old man who lost his wife. Ha! She wanted a wedding so much, right? She got one. And the parents are supposedly searching for their real daughter. Her father was fooled into going to a far-off mountain place and broke both his legs. Her mother is also having problems, acting strangely and calling every young woman she meets daughter. Someone called the police on her multiple times, and now she's in a mental hospital. People say the real daughter moved out of the country. Leo couldn't leave because of his family's work, but apparently he gave up his family's money and plans to move away too. I looked at Mark across the table. He was smiling a huge smile. I looked confused and asked, "What's so funny?" "This news is quite amusing," he said. "Since it's funny, does that mean you'll be with me?" He offered me a costly present. Of course, I accepted it. It was the 99th gift he'd given me. His eyes shone. "So, you were keeping track.